and she is spiritual in every way, shape, or form. She is a Reiki master with her level 3. And just if you know her or you see any of her things that she posts on Facebook, you can see how connected to the divine that she is. And I saw her, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe she knows. But I saw her and I just knew that we had a connection. And so I reached out and I was like, hey, you want to come on the radio show? And she said, yeah. So we're going to bring her up and we're going to have a little conversation about her journey and where she is at now and how she got where she is and all that. So here we go. Hi, Amiee.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nervous.
Do not be nervous. You're my spiritual sister. Don't you know that? You should know that you're going to
Yes.
be safe with me.
Yes.
Yeah. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you for having me on. I'm really, truly humbled and grateful. I
Um,
know you had asked me a couple times in the past, and I was like, no, I can't. I'm not ready. Um, and I feel like I'm ready now. So
I'm
thank you.
oh my God, you're so welcome. So I'm not sure when I started following your information on Facebook, but I loved how even though if I didn't like you would send me all these little things to my messenger, and even if I couldn't watch it at that time, I could open it later. And it was like almost like you knew what I needed when I needed it, even though I didn't know I needed it.
Yes, I get that a lot.
And I think as healers, I think that we do that a lot, channeling, and we can feel things before other people do. And even though sometimes it's very difficult to put it out there because we don't want to trespass on anyone, we want to so badly because we can feel that feeling of healing before they do. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
I think as an intuitive empath, you really feel deeply into another person's emotions.
Yeah.
Um, some people are super tuned in, and I feel like I'm one of those people. It's kind of a blessing and a curse all wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
But I found to be more comfortable with it now than I have in years past.
Yeah.
And I've lately just been truly stepping into who I am, and not hiding my gifts so much because collectively, I think they're very much needed right now on the planet. It can be scary, but I'm embracing it.
Well, it's 100% correct. And I found it very interesting when I was looking at your photos and watching you and your vibe and how you always put like water in and you add fire sometimes, or you add like those beautiful, which as you can see, you saw my post I've been posting. I have
Yes.
those globes and all these things. And I was like, so now I have to show a little bit more of how connected that we are, because there's been situations where like I have a friend of mine that sadly lost his nephew in a really bad accident in the same year that I
Mm.
was in my motorcycle accident in 15. And I went to one of his cookouts and they were doing like a big bonfire. And all of a sudden there was like this angel, but it looked like a I don't know. It was just this thing, like whatever, flying like all around the fire. And I was like, whoa. And I was the only one that could see it. And I was like, okay, why am I seeing this? Of course, I knew what it was. No.
Uh-huh.
And I love that when you meet somebody that has the same vibe and the same connection. I love the fact that they didn't just get there. Like
No.
you didn't wake up one day and go, hello, here I am. I'm a spiritual guide. I'm going to give you whatever you need. Like you went through a lot of awakening moments.
I did.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
Um,
So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit
okay.
quickly? Tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, and then I'll kind of get into a little bit of the questions and things like that, if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I'm Amiee Campbell-Lavigne. Excuse me. I am 50 years old. I live in upstate New York. I am addicted to nature, anything and everything nature. I feel the most whole when I am in the woods or by a body of water. I'm very earth connected. Like if I don't ground and anchor in every day, I am a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a level 3 Reiki master. I'm a wife. I am a stepmom. I'm an aunt. I'm a friend. I'm a dog mom. I'm a sister. Um, I love anything and all things spiritual. No topics too woo woo for me. Um,
Hmm. You're a lot of hats.
yes,
I don't think people realize how many hats that they wear in a day.
definitely not. Um,
About when you woke up this morning, what's the first thing that you did?
I
The minute
sat up and I thanked God and the universe for another day. I went and made a cup of coffee because I'm a coffee hound. And then I got my journal out and did my affirmations.
and then what?
Um, Pulled some cards, showered, went and got my hair done. If you notice, it's purpley red.
It's beautiful.
Yes, thank you. My friend Courtney does a beautiful job.
Nice. Did you
Uh,
make any phone calls? Did you pay any bill? Like what other hats did you wear today other than the hat that you wore for Amiee?
I reached out to a couple of people and told them that everything was going to be okay and that I was going to be their support system. Not to worry, everything's in divine timing. Everything that's happening is exactly how it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
I told a friend of mine that she was doing a beautiful job rising up into her divine feminine goddess. I could see it. I've been watching from afar, and she's really coming into herself. Um,
Don't you love that?
yes, I do.
Isn't that like this feeling of like, wow, you can feel that yourself, even though you've gone through so much as a guide, as a healer, as an intuitive, as an empath. When you learn about Reiki, it's like your first, well, it's not your first because you definitely had some awakenings before the Reiki, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
the first
definitely.
time that you finally like go, aha, ooh, wow, that makes all sense. But for you, I'm not sure if we're going on break, but for you, your story started in 2011, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you had
That's
a medical situation.
yes. I was faced with a health crisis that kind of shook my whole world. I always like to refer to it as God and the universe had to shake me to wake me. And quite literally, I mean that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So what happened?
Um, about 2011, 2012, I ate seafood. I was living in Florida at the time. And I got violently ill, like so sick. And this lasted for maybe 3 days and then it kind of subsided, but then the symptoms came back. Months and months and months went by, and I knew right away. I was like, I have a parasitic disease. Um,
Parasites.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
And that was
I
in
just,
2011.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I just started going anywhere and everywhere to seek medical treatment. I didn't have insurance at the time. And I just remember praying to God, like, you got to help me. Like, whatever it is you need me to do, B, C, you've got to help me. Um, and I wasn't really getting any answers. I was, having exams, tests, procedures, blood work. I lost my home, my job, my boyfriend at the time.
Mm.
I sold all of my belongings and I moved back to New York with one suitcase and a few other miscellaneous items. I got into my car and I drove 24 hours back home dead of winter. It was mid-March, I think, in a little car with no snow tires, sicker than a dog. But I made it. And then the next probably roughly 4.5 years, I had to really dig in. I had to become my own health advocate, not take no for an answer. I traveled the US. I went to other countries. I was very vocal and very bossy and very loud and very much like, you are going to help me. You're not going to dismiss me. I am a child of God. It is my divine birthright to be happy, whole, healthy, and well. I'm not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting how that happened at that time for you, and how I think that maybe I'm just wondering if people that you're talking to now, at least when you have your Reiki clients, or just friends or people that you can tell are now trying to figure out their transitional phase and what is going on right now with this collective awakening to us, right? Like,
yeah.
How many people have you talked to or had a connection with that had the same type of experience? A lot?
Not at first.
Okay.
At first, I was kind of the lone wolf in it. And when I would talk to people about my awakening and all of the like woo-hoo things that were happening and my testimony and, different things that were happening that were quite beautiful, a lot of people would be like, okay, yeah, sure, right, you're crazy. And I'd be like, no, but really, I'm serious.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's the human condition. Everybody's going through something. Everybody has traumas. Everybody has, if you've never been sick in your life, you're very fortunate, but most people have health issues and, different issues in their life. As time went on, I connected with a lot more like-minded souls.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the universe sends them to you energetically, because we're energetic beings. Einstein proved that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we come back from break.
Yeah. So I did start connecting with a lot more people and, of the same resonance, the same frequency.
Yeah.
People that needed messages. I needed messages from them. That kind of an exchange.
So we're going to go on a quick break. I'm going to be taking us to a couple ads, but you just wait it out, and then we'll be back to grab you again so we can continue this conversation. We'll talk a little bit more about Einstein, huh?
Sounds good.
So guys, this is 97.9 FM, which is Community Connection. My name is Susan Ouellette. I am the host here at the Susanity Life show and the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where wellness meets peace of mind. It's a holistic wellness clinic. And I want to let you guys know how happy that we are that you're with us. And if you could share this with people, that would be awesome, because I would love Amie's story and to get out there, and Unity Radio to get out there as well. So thanks, guys. We'll be right back.
Telephone man, there's something wrong with my line. What's up, Worcester? I'm Angela Gray, and you're listening to Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection. When I dial my baby's number, I get a click every time.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, place of worship, or other chosen groups. Communities can provide support when you need it, including helping your kids avoid underage drinking and other substance use. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
What's up, Central Mass? It's your girl, Desiree G, and this is your Unity in the Community on Unity Radio 97.9. On Thursday, July 31st, enjoy summer concerts at the Hanover Theater's Francis Carroll Plaza from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. On Friday, August 1st, catch the Woo Sox versus Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs at Polar Park, featuring a Unibank fireworks display. On Saturday, August 2nd, MOAD, Massachusetts Organization of African Descendants, presents the 2025 African Festival at Worcester City Hall on the Commons, starting at 12 p.m. And that's your Unity in the Community. Stay tuned for more community announcements and events on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Activa la radio y Unity Radio 97.9 FM te invitan a escuchar el bloque latino todos los sábados de 7 de la mañana hasta la 1 de la tarde por los 97.9 FM en la ciudad de Worcester.
The Out to Lunch Festival in Farmers Market is back every Wednesday from June 18th through August 20th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the Worcester Common Oval. Live music, food trucks, art, fresh produce, and more right in downtown Worcester. Get the details now at outtolunchworcester.com.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan T Ouellette. I am the host here of the Susanity Life show and the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Mass, where wellness meets peace of mind. It's a holistic wellness clinic, and my website is susanitylife.com if you want to know more about me. And right now we're going to bring Amiee Campbell-Lavigne back on, and we're going to talk a little bit more about her journey. Welcome back, Amiee.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about Einstein in a second, but I want to go back a little bit more and talk a little bit about you, because I feel like I didn't know this about you. And when I read the paper that you sent me, I was like, oh, so by trade, you're a special education teacher, and you've been doing that for 12 years.
I am a teacher assistant, actually, in a special ed classroom. Okay. And yes, for 12 years now.
Okay, assistant, yep. And you decided to do that. Why? Did something just wake up in you and go, I think I'm going to be a teacher, or I think I want to do this? Or was it something inside of you that made you pursue that path, you think?
I'm very connected to children. I love working with children. I'm very connected to animals. Children, I just have a way with them. I feel like they're drawn to me. I'm drawn to them. We have a pretty special connection. Children are innocent. Like, they haven't been touched or scathed yet by the world, by the collective. Well, they're pretty innocent. Maybe.
Maybe some of them, but some of them haven't. That's definitely, I think, one of the awakenings that we're going through right now, as you know, with all that's going on in Alabama. And I just saw something driving here. God's like, here, I need you to see this. And I open up my Facebook page, and it's something in Florida now. I'm like, what the heck? But anyway, we'll go there right now. But that, I love that, because children are pure, and they should never be harmed. None of us, even as children, should have been harmed. We should have been loved and cared for, and told how much we meant to people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to this. So as a special education teacher assistant, how is it? Like, how do you feel when you do it?
Tired, but fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. It's not a high-paying job. I'm definitely not there for that. I'm there for the feeling that it gives me to connect. Children are very energetically sensitive, and I am too. So it's a great mix.
Do you feel like it helps you awaken your inner child too a little bit?
Definitely.
Isn't that the best feeling ever?
Yes, because sometimes, if I'm having a bad day, I can get to be a little more on the serious side of things, and, feeling sorry for myself, or getting into that negative mindset of nothing's going right, everything's falling apart. But when you get down on the floor and you play with a child and they're very joyful and they don't, you know, have a care in the world, they just want to play, and they're authentically themselves.
Yeah.
They don't wear masks. They are who they are, and what you see is what you get. And I really appreciate that because I get to be who I am with them also.
I think that it's amazing when you're out and about and you see these younger generation of children finding their way and being willing to see the difference in themselves at that young age, you know, whether it's, you know, buying a crystal bracelet or understanding more about chakras or doing the tapping or, you know, finding their true authentic self. And I'm so glad that, and maybe you know this too, I'm so glad that nowadays parents are more open to that. I don't think years ago they were. My mother would have been like, to me, you're out of your mind. Go to church. Like, they would have been no, go to Catholic church, kneel down and pray. Like, there would have been no anything like that at all in my path, you know. And it's sad because we all, as you know, when we're born, we have these amazing gifts. There's 25 gifts inside, gifts that we could be provided with, but because of the way the world is, we are so often suffocated from those gifts. And I'm so grateful right now. And I think that this is probably why a lot of COVID happened. Maybe you feel the same way, was to awaken the world in a way that we haven't been awoken in probably hundreds of years, you know? And I think that kids are the first part of that. I mean, they're going to be the ones running the world, running the world one day.
Definitely. For me personally, I think COVID was a really big awakening catalyst for humanity. As awful as it was, it did have its blessing because we were forced to sit in our homes, sit with ourselves. We couldn't shop it away, gamble it away, nightclub it away. We were forced to kind of go within. There was nowhere to go. You couldn't go anywhere. And people aren't used to sitting still with their thoughts, with their emotions. That's like, oof, I don't want to do that because then I'm forced to see and look at things that I don't want to look at. So I think it was monumental in the awakening shift that's happening on the planet right now. And by shift, you know, I say that to people and they're like, what is this lady talking about? And what I mean by that is,
yeah,
we are currently in a shift on this planet, a shift in consciousness. The way we did things before no longer work in this new paradigm.
No.
The old ways, the old systems, the old paradigms are crumbling. And it can be very jarring and shocking and uncomfortable. And I truly think everybody's feeling the shift. Not everybody has the awareness to know what it is they're feeling. But I believe everyone is, in fact, feeling it.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, it's interesting how you do what you do, and I do what I do for work, and we're both involved in that energetic industry of healing. But you've got people that have no idea what we're talking about, and yet they want to know more.
I think that's due to societal pieces, programs, patterns. I went to Catholic school my whole life. Luckily for me, my parents were always kind of open, you know, let me do my thing. But for many, that isn't the case. If you step outside of the norm or what you've been taught or what your family says or society says, for some people, that can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can be.
But I think the healing modalities, energetic healing modalities, are coming into play a lot more now. People are turning to them, I find, even with my Reiki.
I think so.
People are not so much about pharmaceuticals. They want something natural, holistic, energetic. And I think that's great. I think we're traveling back in time, so to speak.
We are.
Yes.
So you went to high school and you got your 2-year college degree in human resources, and you did that. Did you do that for a long time, or human resources career?
I've always sort of been in the helping profession because I'm so sensitive and empathic that any other job for me is like, oh, I can't. I need to be in something where I feel of use.
Yeah.
So I did case management work for a while for our local Office on Aging. I've been DSP, direct support person for children in an advocacy program. I mean, I've done other jobs, retail, waitress for years, but the helping profession has always been my passion. I feel most whole there.
And then throughout your childhood, you experienced some things like traumas and things like that too. What was that in your family dynamic, or did something specific happen? Did something happen to you? Is that why you felt the traumas?
I think there's a thing called generational curses.
Oh my God, I was just talking about that on the phone this week.
Every family has it. Like, I love my parents. You know, my mom and dad are wonderful people. But let's face it, they were taught by their mom and dad, and their mom and dad were taught by their mom and dad generations before, and things get handed down. And parents mean well, but just because they tell you something is true doesn't necessarily make it the truth. It's their truth, and they're kind of superimposing it onto you.
Yeah.
Not in a harmful way, or, you know, they're not meaning harm by it. It's just, that's human nature. We teach what we know. For me, I come from a broken home. My parents divorced when I was a couple of years old. And my mother was in the military, so she always lived away in another state. So it made it hard with her not being there. My father raised me, so I would visit her in the summer. So I know that had a big impact on my life.
Yeah.
And just, you know, inner child wounds, everybody has them. It could be the littlest, most minute thing, like you're in third grade and somebody calls you fat, or you're in third grade and somebody says your hair is ugly. You think little harmless statements like that just roll off you, but you know, for some people that really sticks. And when you're a kid, you believe what other people are telling you. You don't know any better.
So we're going to go on a quick break again, and then we'll be back. And then we're going to talk a little about Florida. We're going to talk about how that was for you and what you kind of learned there, and then go on that journey. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about your Reiki and things like that too. So it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited you're here. Thank you again for being here. It means so much to me.
Thank you.
We'll be back. Hey guys, so this is Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection. My name is Susan T Ouellette, your host here at the Susanity Life show and the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where wellness meets peace of mind. And we will be right back.
Unity Radio. Worcester, we've got you.
Fam Jam Event Group presents the Worcester Renaissance Market, happening every week at Rockland Trust Plaza, right in the Canal District, across from 1885 Lounge at 45 Green Street in Worcester. Come enjoy live music, delicious food, family fun, and cultural events that align with Woosawks game nights. Whether you're a vendor, performer, or community partner, prepare your gift to share in the heart of the Canal District at 45 Green Street in Worcester, Massachusetts. Follow us on Facebook at Fam Jam Event Group and on Instagram and TikTok at Fam Jam EVTGRP. The Worcester Renaissance Market, where community, culture, and commerce unite.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Myers, your host on Talking Wellness, presented by the Kiva Centers on Unity Radio 97.9 FM. As a licensed mental health professional and leader in the field, I believe every story matters and healing starts with being heard. Whether you're navigating life's challenges or lifting others through theirs, I'm here to explore the paths of mental health, recovery, and wholeness. Tune into Talking Wellness on Unity Radio 97.9 FM every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for honest conversation and inspiration. This program is sponsored by the Kiva Centers, a statewide leader in peer-led support and recovery services. From Worcester to Western Mass, Kiva is lighting the way forward. Talking Wellness, every voice, every journey. Speak up, be heard, and of course, be well.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving a world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclubs.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
Let's talk, Worcester.
Unity 97.9.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Again, my name is Susan T Ouellette, your host here at Unity Radio and the Susanity Life show, and the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, where wellness meets peace of mind, susanitylife.com. Super excited to be here at Unity Radio in Worcester. There's so much going on in Worcester. You should check out our page. We have a lot of things happening out there, and it's a lot of it advertised on our page because Ernie wants to stay on top of things in Worcester and Worcester County. There's a lot going on. So definitely check out our page. If you could, that would be awesome. And if you know anyone that is looking to be on our radio show, whether it's mine or anyone else, please reach out to us. We would love to hear your story. We would love to have you as a guest. We would love to help you out. If you have anything that you need, we're all about that too. So again, guys, definitely reach out to us. So we're going to go back on with Amiee Campbell-Lavigne. We're going to talk a little bit more about we talked earlier about how she had that awakening in 2011 and 2012, right? So my awakening started in 2015. My awakening has started in 2012, really, but my true awakening started in 2015 when I got in that motorcycle accident and woke up and couldn't feel my legs and was like, are you kidding me? And the more that I'm like realizing this about life, how we all have a moment at some point. It could be catastrophic, it could be small, and it could flip you upside down in a million ways, right? So her coming on here and sharing her story is a way for you guys to see, again, back to what I said earlier, that we're really never alone in our phase in life. There's always going to be somebody, whether it's a friend or somebody that is put into our life to awaken our soul in a way that may be good, but may not, because it may be a learning lesson that you're trying to receive. And I think in 2006, when Amiee moved to Florida, her story was really interesting in that she was in a very difficult relationship. And I don't know about you guys or listening or watching, but how many of you have been in a toxic, emotionally draining, traumatic relationship that flips you upside down because you can't figure out that the truth is that whatever is going on in your life with you is what's being portrayed onto you from that person. And that's kind of where it drives me crazy when I hear stories from people that I've already kind of been through that, and I'm sure Amiee has too, to be able to share your story and be like, no, get away from that person, because they're not going to listen anyway. Sometimes they're going to still do the same thing over and over again. They're not going to listen to you, right? So, Amiee, in 2006, you moved to upstate New York, from upstate New York to sunny Florida, and you wrote in your paperwork that it was because you were in a really bad, emotionally treacherous a relationship. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Not only a bad relationship, just to be quite honest, I was not on the right side of the tracks, living my life kind of dangerously, a rebel, not making good decisions. I was dating people who were toxic, not healthy for me, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive. And I had like this codependency or unworthiness about me at the time, where I thought that was all that I was worthy of. So I accepted it. And then whenever that person would pull back their caring or devotion or love from me, I would internalize that as something wrong with me, not realizing that this person that I'm with is not a whole and complete healed being.
Yeah.
So I had enough of that. Was like, okay, we got to do something different here. I live in a little tiny rural town at the time, and there's like nothing for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to move. My mother lived in Florida at the time. And my mom's like, well, move to Florida. You'll love it. And I was like, all right. So I packed up all of my belongings and headed there thinking I was going to have a fresh start. Well, when I arrived in Florida, I continued on more of the same behavior. It's just, it was hotter out and there was palm trees and the sun was shining. That was literally the only difference. And I just stayed on that path of sort of like self-destruction and bad behavior and accepting less than I was worthy of, involving myself with all the wrong people. I've had my bout with drugs and alcohol, just not good choices.
Yep.
And then when I got sick is kind of when everything shifted. Like everything shifted. It was my wake up call. And had it not been for that illness, I know I would never be where I am right now. I just know that with my whole soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Believe me, I get it. At one point, you had lost everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that in New York or Florida?
In Florida.
Yeah. And then the universe said, so we've given you a sign, we've given you a seed, we've told you this and that and the other, and you're not really listening. So we need to slow you down and take everything away from you so that you can see what your worth is and how much you really are loved and how much you really are cared for and how much God himself is trying to give you back the life that you've deserved really your whole life. And that no matter what happened to you, it doesn't define you at all.
Yes. I would walk to this little church that was like 3 doors down from where my mother lived. It was like an Episcopal church. I'd never been in it. And I would shuffle there at night because I was so weak from having that disease undiagnosed. And at the time, I chain smoked cigarettes and drank coffee. And I would sit outside on the curb and just stare at the steeple and like pray to God, you've got to help me. Like, I know you know my sins. I know my sins, but right now I'm like confessing them to you just so you know that I am aware of what I have done and I need you to help me. And then this went on night after night. And then one night, it was like a Tuesday at 6:00, and I went to the church and there was a car in the parking lot. So something just washed over me and was like, go check the door to see if it's unlocked. So I went to the door and I pulled it open and there was a man and a woman inside and they were cleaning. One was cleaning.
Okay.
Like maintenance, cleaning the church.
Yeah.
And I just walked straight up to them and out of nowhere, I was like, I need prayer. And then they prayed over me. They started giving me prophetic messages. She spoke in tongue. He translated it. And ultimately, what they told me was that I've been walking dead in spirit. I've been roaming the earth alive, yes, but dead in spirit. And that I did not know Source Creator, and Source Creator did not know me. And that I was going to receive the healing, but that I needed to learn the lesson the hard way and the long way, because God knew it wouldn't stick. Like, in other words, he'd give me the healing and I'd be like, yes, thank you, God. And then I'd go right back to my old ways again. So that's why I had to wait.
Yeah.
And waiting, oh, it's so hard.
Oh, it's so
hard. But looking back in retrospect, I wouldn't change anything, because it like really developed my character. I found willpower inside of me that I didn't even know existed. My intuition came online, my compassion for self and others. Before, I was mean-spirited. I'd be like, oh, be quiet, like, very rough around the edges. And when you have to wait for something from God that you really, really want, he kind of refines you. And by God, I just want to clarify, for me, it is God, Jesus, universe, angels, like Archangel Michael's my guy, but whoever you conceive creator to be. Yeah. For everybody it's different. So yeah, and throughout that journey, I would have little things like that happen. People approach me just at the right time and give me like a prophetic message, or and I was like, I don't know these people. I've never met this woman or this man in my entire life. And they're just walking up to me at the supermarket and saying, stay on your knees and, keep praying to Jesus. He's going to help you. He's going to help you. And I was like, and the more I would tell people this, they'd be like, oh, so
yeah.
That's how it happened. I mean, I'm not here to like make anybody believe anything. I'm only here to share my story in hopes that it inspires someone else.
Exactly.
But I have nothing to gain by, embellishing or making anything up. This truly happened. Yeah. And one day I'm going to write a book about it.
That's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. That's why I wrote the five small, series that I wrote, because I was going through the same transitional phase. Like my awakening started in 12, and then it got stronger and stronger. And then I went through a bunch of stuff in 13 and 14, and I was still not like paying attention to, I think, what God was trying to show me in many ways. And I was the same as you. I was hanging around with the wrong people, dating. I was married at the time, but I was, separated. I was off, drinking, trying all these new kind of hallucinogenic type stuff, not even realize what I was doing until I did something that wasn't smart. And then it was not even right after that happened. It was almost like God said, all right, I have been nudging you and nudging you and nudging you, and you're not listening to me. And so I have to do something. Basically, I think this is what he said or something, because then I woke up in the hospital and I couldn't feel my legs. And I was like, this is wonderful. And because my dad, of course, was in a wheelchair my whole life, picking up and driver when I was 1, I was like, oh, great. So now I get this journey. That's super. Now I'm going to be in a wheelchair, so crazy. But we're going on our last break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the shift now, and the new earth and the macro, micro, mother earth and things like that, how you got involved in Reiki, when you did, and where you see yourself going in the future. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll be right back. Guys, this is Unity Radio 97.9 FM. Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan T Ouellette, your host here at the Susanity Life show. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Amiee Campbell-Lavigne from New York, and she's going to finish up this series telling her story more. All right. See you guys soon.
Unity Radio. Worcester, we got you.
At KivaCenters.org, we believe every story matters and healing starts with being heard. The Kiva Centers are here to explore the paths of mental health, recovery, and wholeness with you. Visit KivaCenters.org, a statewide leader in peer-led support and recovery services, from Worcester to Western Mass. More information is available at KIVACenters.org. Kiva is lighting the way forward.
Life is like a roller coaster. It has its high and low moments, zooming through our lives. Sometimes we feel excited and full of joy, and other times we feel numb to the world around us. Low moments are a part of life. They help us cherish the good times. That's why it's important to reach out when life's lows stop us in our tracks. Connect with someone now. Call 211 or text 988.
The Out to Lunch Festival and Farmers Market is back every Wednesday from June 18th through August 20th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the Worcester Common Oval. Live music, food trucks, art, fresh produce, and more right in downtown Worcester. Get the details now at outtolunchworcester.com.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Steve.
And we're the hosts of Cannabis 101 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM.
Join us and our guests on Thursdays at 3 p.m. as we discuss the cannabis industry in Central Mass with energy, excitement, and passion.
We both take pride in providing you important information about the rapid growing cannabis industry. Support for Cannabis 101 is provided by Cannabis of Worcester on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hi, this is Raymond Lopolito, the general manager of the Worcester Smiles Football Club, and you're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan T Ouellette. I am the host here at the Susanity Life show. I own Susanity in Sturbridge, Mass, where wellness meets peace of mind. It's a holistic clinic. And I'm also an author of 5 books that are all on Amazon that are actually kind of very interestingly about what we're talking about right now, about what Amiee and I are talking about. I wrote them at a time in my life where I was in the process of awakening too, and didn't even know what it meant at that time, right? And maybe you're going through that now. Maybe there's something that you're searching for, or something that you are wondering if there's a way for you to tap into. And I mean, Amiee and I can tell you that there definitely is. I mean, listen to what her story, listen to what she's figured out, you know, and what she's been through to get where she is, and the different life experiences that she had to achieve where she is now. And we're going to bring Amiee back on. Hi, Amiee, welcome back.
No.
So, I think that, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this is how you're experiencing it too. I think that even though we understand the dynamic of the shift and the new earth and the golden Aquarius and like all these things that are happening, and we want to bring people in, it's not easy to do that, you know. And I myself believe in God and Jesus Christ. He saved my life. I mean, I was able to dance with my Father in heaven during my out-of-body accident experience, and I'm grateful every single day for being able to do that, to being able to experience that, and now being able to channel and help people find their, you know, people that have passed and things like that and whatever. But for me, Reiki started in 2016, and then I learned about polarity in massage school, which is, well, it's really Reiki on fire. It's pretty amazing, actually. But it definitely was a different type of spiritual healing. So how did you know all these things about the shift and everything, but how did you get involved in Reiki? Like, when was your first experience with, like, was it right after you had that awful medical thing happen, or was it before that? Like, when did you learn about Reiki?
I learned about Reiki while I was still sick. I went to a girl in my local town, and I would cry and be like, I was in a lot of physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, because I wasn't getting help. I wasn't getting answers. So aside from the physical manifestation, I also had, the mental health piece, the emotional piece. So I started going to her, and it was lovely. I would see things, experience things. I could feel spirit move through me. It was relaxing, but there was also a piece to it where, not right away, but after the session, some things would like come into my conscious awareness of things that I needed to take a really good inventory of and a really good look at. Some good things and some bad things.
Yep.
But I love Reiki. I think it is the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful healing modalities there is. I'm very passionate about it. I feel like it's good for everybody. I don't care what the ailment is.
I agree. And you have a wonderful husband. I see all your pictures on Facebook. He seems very, very aware of who you are and very willing to give you that space that you need to be divine. You know, and I think a lot of times we don't get that. So that's fantastic. I'm so happy that you have that, because I think sometimes we don't, you know, and I watch you, I see your video, not your videos, your pictures and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. Like, he seems like a wonderful person.
He is very supportive. We're not necessarily on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I'm a little bit out there, but I'm good with it. And he accepts me and he loves me for who I am.
Yeah.
And I accept him and love him for who he is. And for a while, you know, I think everybody on the awakening journey goes through that time where they want to like shake people awake and be like, hey, listen, if you do this, that, and the other, or if you look at it from this perspective. But you and I both know that's not how the awakening works. We can plant the seed, and then whoever resonates, we gravitate and they come in, and whoever falls away based on energy, frequency, and vibration kind of fall out of our reality. That's just energy.
Yeah. It is. It is. And energy, I mean, for me and for you, and I think for a lot of you know, a lot of healers, like it's like a life force for us, you know, like the chakras and, you know, all that. It's like this feeling that, you know, and I tell people this on every show that I do. I'm like, you know, every chakra is connected to every single organ in your body. So if that's true, and say you have a heart condition, or something's going on with your throat, or something's going on with your head, or something's going on with your belly or something, and you can meditate on one of those chakras to help you heal before you allow yourself to be pulled into the vessel of society, you know, maybe you should try that first, you know. And I think that that's why I love what we do, because I think that, and we're not the kind of people that are going to be, I can't say, because when I first opened my practice, I'll tell you right now, I was definitely the one with like, why can't you see this? Like, what's the matter with you? There's something wrong with you. Like, I can feel this. Why can't you feel this? And people would be like, you're out of your mind, and I'm never coming back again. And now I'm very casual. They filled their intake, and I go, okay, I'm just going to take a step back. And now I just allow them to be present the way that they are. And then if they don't want to be, then they're not, you know. It's just like, that was definitely a learning experience. And even the awakening, like I feel like I've said this so many times to my friend Amiee, and this girl Amiee White, who is with, I don't know if you know her, but she's who I found back in 2014. She had a story. Her story is amazing, very similar to yours actually, where she woke up one day and she was completely paralyzed in 2012. By the way, you should look her up. She's pretty good.
I had spiritual surgeries by Amiee White.
Me too.
And I have read her book, From Sick to Bliss and Conversations with God.
Yeah, yes. She changed my life. I met her in 2014 in a company that we were in together. And when she walked in to have coffee, there was a white feather on the table. And then everybody left. And while I was sitting in this plate, like a place like this, which like had the, you know, the wood up top, there was no birds inside. We literally were wearing feathers the whole entire time. I got bags and bags of feathers still. And I was like, okay. And then I had quite a few spiritual birthings with her. They were unbelievable. She woke me in ways that I can't even, it was unbelievable. She's amazing. And I'm so grateful to her, and I'm grateful to you, and I'm grateful because even though sometimes we don't necessarily see or feel or experience the way we want to, whatever we're being told to learn, there's a reason for it.
Definitely.
You know? Yeah. That's so funny. Now I even know more now. Why I didn't even know. Wow, should have had a conversation before I got on. I didn't know that
It's all good.
she's yeah. Wow, it's amazing. We're so lucky and we're so blessed. And if God didn't want us to be a part of His mission, we wouldn't be.
True.
You know, we wouldn't be. So how can people find you? Like, are you going to be doing like any group things or doing any like online presence things or anything? Like, what are your thoughts next?
I'm shy. I don't really do a lot of advertising. I don't really have a platform other than my Facebook social media. I don't even have a website. I'm kind of old school. I don't have like Venmo and Cash App or anything. I'm just kind of do my thing. I feel at this point, whoever comes to me for Reiki was divinely sent there by God and the universe. And I look at it as, I know I'm a healer and a light worker, but I don't like to use labels, really.
Me neither.
I like to consider myself a conduit, if you will. I channel the energy. I send the Reiki. I'm not the healer. The Reiki client is the healer, their own healer.
Yeah.
I am just the middleman, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't like to be on a platform.
That's okay.
That's just my style.
But that's okay. So you are, because right now you're on Facebook Live and millions of people are watching you. If not,
this is outside of my comfort zone.
People can share this now and they can watch you anytime they want to, because you're going to be on Unity Radio 97.9 and we're going to send you the link so you can post it on your page, and you never know now what's going to come for you. Right. So I'm so grateful that
I'm
you're
open.
here. We've got to boost off now, but thank you so much for being a part of this with me. I cannot wait to come to New York and meet you. I am so excited. This has got
You
to
have to
happen.
kayak.
Yeah, I got to go kayaking. Thank you, Amiee Campbell-Lavigne, for being on today. Guys, if you need to find her, she's on Facebook under Amiee Campbell-Lavigne, and I'm sure she would love to have a conversation with you, read some cards for you or things like that. So, guys, my name is Susan T Ouellette. I am the host here at Unity Radio 97.9 FM, which is Community Connection, and I'm the owner of Susanity in Sturbridge, Mass. And we are so grateful for all of you. And right now, from me and Amiee and all of us here at the Unity Radio community, we're sending you love and light and peace. Bye, guys. Take care.